Oh, I haven't even been able to see theatre here while I'm in London. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I see, you come in at people at the gay man, you got to see funny stuff. Too bad.
It's happening.
Okay, I'm just going to do a quick sync clap.
Sure.
Professional marker there.
Yeah.
Everybody good? Everybody happy? Yes. Ready. Okay, so for people that don't know, and
Yes.
hopefully they will by the time this comes out, tell us about the premise of the show. What is the show about?
The show, loosely put, it's a whodunit, but it's so much more than that. It's so richly textured, and it's dynamic, and it's just a really fun murder mystery. It's like a game of Clue. And it's, yeah, the number of layers and levels that are uncovered and stripped back as the show goes on, it just makes it fascinating.
And tell us a little bit about your character, about Grace. Who is Grace? How does she fit into this whole big story, this big premise?
Great question. She is the prime suspect, and she's very conflicted. She believes her own innocence, but there is a level of reasonable self-doubt, and you'll understand more about that doubt as the series progresses. She's been through a really hard time. She found her best friend and roommate murdered brutally, and that's left her feeling pretty damaged. So I think people are very quick to judge, and people need to give her a little bit more credit, I think. Certain people need to give her a little bit more credit.
So what's been the most fun for you playing this role? I know maybe fun is because it's such a dramatic role, but I mean, what do you really enjoy about playing Grace?
I love any part that allows me as an actor to get down to the nitty-gritty. And this show especially is all about human behavior and how human behavior can be misconstrued and seen as something that it isn't necessarily. So to be able to play with the ambiguity of what may seemingly on the outside be a completely innocent act or whatever, but underneath that there's something brewing and there's something that's not obvious to the naked eye. I just find fascinating, and as an actor it just allows you to play and throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks and see what makes you look like a crazy person and see what makes you look sane and you might be in complete turmoil, but can just give a completely different. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the word. Anyway.
Well, it's interesting because what I want to say is, how do you think the audience is going to perceive Grace? I mean, do you think are they going to be with her, or because it's the way it's written, you don't know.
Totally.
Totally. Are they going to look at her as sympathetic, or are they going to be like?
I mean, she's definitely so multifaceted. I think it's going to be difficult for anyone to have an opinion and stick by that opinion. I think the show moves so quickly and there are so many twists and turns that the audience are going to be led completely astray. So they're going to start doubting their own ability to judge and how they conceive people based on behavior and attitude, etc. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see the feedback and see who's siding with her and who's against her from the get-go and how that can flip. I think it's going to be really interesting.
No, the scripts are such great reads. They are so much fun. And I know you already said this, but I'm going to ask again, is talk a little bit about Grace's relationship to Molly Ryan. How is she connected to Molly? The fact that she's the roommate and stuff.
So when Grace came over from the States to study in England, Molly kind of scooped her up and took her under her wing. And although she's not native, she knows London. She's, I think, travelled through her childhood from Ireland to London. She knows it much better than Grace does. And so she really took her under her wing and showed Grace how to have a good time in the city and stuck by her through thick and thin. She knows Grace's past. Grace isn't the most innocent teenager. I mean, she's a teenager. She's had struggles. She's lost both of her parents. She's been through the works. And Molly really understood that, and Grace felt like she had a true ally. So when she finds Molly so brutally murdered, it's not only the shock of the vision of it. I mean, it's just horrendous, but she really has lost a true confidant. And with that, I think Grace feels completely abandoned, having lost both of her parents and now lost this person who she really felt was a great, great friend. So yeah, it's tough.
She's got a good-looking boyfriend, so I don't.
Yeah, it's not all bad.
We're going to do a little thing about fun facts that the audience might not know. Mm-hmm. One of the things that Robin, so blame her if this is wrong, but she told me that now Grace's stepdad.
Yes.
And Daisy, and so can you
yes.
talk about that the audience might not know about that relationship?
So, my stepdad in the show, James LaHoo, is being played by my real father, Anthony Head, which for me is kind of a saving grace, yes, pun intended, because for me, James and Grace have a bond that Natalie and James don't have. He's raised her from the age of like 8 or 9, and it's a little bit of a shallow relationship in as much as she wants lots of nice things, he buys them for her. You know, my dad never did that. Like, he's bought me nice things, but I've never been spoiled, as in I would never want to be spoiled. You know, she can click her fingers and he'll buy anything, like thousands of pounds. So in that aspect, our relationship is not at all similar. But it's so nice, and we've got some great stuff coming up in episodes 7 and 8, which is really intimate and lovely. And I can't wait to do it because you have the on-screen chemistry. So you don't have to find that with someone new. It's all there. And we know each other's behaviors. We know each other's emotions so well. It's so fun to play off each other. And have that sort of natural instinct. It's super exciting for me.
Well, great. So you're just going to be calling it in on those days. There's no acting involved.
No acting needed. Whatever.
So sum it up for us. Why are people? I'm going to be home. I'm going to be watching the channels. There's so much to think about. Why am I going to want to watch Guilt? Why am I going to want to watch it week after week? What's going to draw viewers in?
It's an absolute literal page turner. Like, it is. There are so many twists, and what I find most exciting, like every time I get a new script, because we're getting the scripts as we shoot, so I don't know what's coming until I get the script. I love being proven right, but I also love being proven wrong. And I love the ability to doubt your ability in understanding something. So you think, yeah, I got it, totally, I get it. And then you're like completely flipped upside down, and you're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, what have I misread? Oh my gosh. And you really start to question like your ability to judge behavior and like situations. So I think that's fascinating, and I think people are going to want to make a decision of who they think did it, of how it's happened, and see if they are right or see how wrong they are.
Right? If they still think that at the end of episode 3,
what they thought,
right?
Exactly.
And then this would be 2 camera, if you don't mind. If you had to describe Guilt in 3 words, what would they be? And this would be to look into camera and say, like, if I had 3 words, this would be.
Can I take 2 seconds to think of that?
Well, now.
Okay. If I had to describe Guilt in 3 words, it would be mysterious, sexy, and thrilling.
Guilt, doble episodio, todos los domingos a las 10 de la noche en Cosmopolitan.